How much sleep you've gotten, but today is Super Bowl Sunday for people who watch this stuff, and high drama in Washington, D.C. What's the mood like?
Yeah, it really is. You had people lining up outside the Senate Russell office building at 12:30 in the morning were the first people in line. Now they're finally getting to go inside. Bars are opening at 9 and 10 in the morning to have watch parties. There's drink specials, Russian vodka, I might add, and one bar is even giving away free shots whenever President Trump tweets at James Comey today, and some people getting there early because they think they might run out of alcohol, I guess.
Brad, so let's get to the drama. He releases his opening statement. How much of this is scripted? How much of this is the wild, wild west? And how much are we expecting a bombshell or two that we don't know already?
Yeah, I mean, the statement was wowzers. I mean, when you saw the level of detail here, not only did it confirm the existence of those mysterious memos that we've been talking about for weeks, right? It gives a public face to some of these accusations, but it also just gives us these details about the president repeatedly trying to get James Comey alone in the room to kind of press his case. That was what really struck out to a lot of people. But, you mentioned this idea that there's kind of a spoiler effect, right? I mean, we know what he's going to say now. So this gives senators time to sort of recalibrate their questions. They can actually choreograph some exchanges with Comey if they wanted to, and if he's open to that. We've certainly seen that in the past. Or it gives him a chance to even go more in depth on some of these exchanges, talk not just about what happened, but what he saw the intent of President Trump as. And by the way, still things we don't know. For example, were these conversations taped? I mean, there are certain things that you could still see some surprises today.
Brad, what are the odds or the chances or the concerns that the Democrats overplay their hand? This might be embarrassing, but if they don't get him, right? This is like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men. If you can't get him, don't go for it.
Well, and there's that idea, too, that if you continue to push forward the idea that President Trump was personally collaborating with Russians during the campaign, that anything short of that ends up getting a shrug from the American people, even if it was campaign aides or even if the president, for example, was directly urging James Comey to drop the case into Michael Flynn. I mean, that is the president asking the nation's top law enforcement official to get rid of an FBI investigation into his national security advisor. I mean, that's a big deal if that is true. Yet, there are people who are sort of wondering if by talking so much about Russian collusion that the Democrats might be getting this big shrug from everyone.
What's the feel on the other side of the aisle, the Republicans? Any sense that they're going to break ranks? Any nervousness on the side of the other side?
Well, I mean, I think there are actually a lot of Republicans counting this as kind of a victory here. I mean, you have the president actually backed up in a couple of ways. The fact that James Comey did say in one way or another that the president's not under personal investigation, he outlines it 3 times, just like President Trump said he would. Now, I think Comey will go to pains to explain what he meant by that, but this is the White House saying, yeah, Comey's backing us up here. The president's not really the source of all of these rumors. And then you've also got this idea that obstruction of justice might not necessarily even be outlined here, that these meetings were clearly awkward, clearly uncomfortable. They've reached a lot of protocols, but were they illegal? Maybe not. And I think on a day like today, the White House will take that as a win.
Right. Well, and that's the interesting thing. The White House is agreeing with some of the memo. Can you agree with some of the memo and not the rest of the memo?
Well, that's the thing. The White House has still not denied any of these accusations that Jim Comey is making. And remember that a few weeks ago, when asked President Trump, did you in any way urge Jim Comey to not go forward with the Michael Flynn investigation? His answer was no. Next question. So, I mean, somebody's not telling the truth here, and Comey will be asked about details to see if he can sort of back this up.
Brad, real quickly, is the whole hearing going to be today? Is it going to be in the mornings? Is it going to be 9 hours of testimony? What are we expecting today in terms of length?
Well, we know there will be an open session from 10 a.m. local time until it could go till noon or even 1. At 1 o'clock, they're slated to have a closed session where Comey could potentially go into details about classified info or anything like that. So I imagine it'll be a couple hours of open testimony, and this is what Comey wanted, was the open testimony. He was not interested in doing this behind closed doors. So whatever he wants to say, it's about to happen in a couple hours.
Brad Melke, thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
ABC News correspondent live from right there on Capitol Hill. It's 6:56, Big 550.